Addiction took our mother slowly, rocking her through it until she sunk deep into the mattress. When her back teeth fell out, I was 7, and I kept them in a matchbox, hoping maybe one day we could put her back together. Our house fell apart around us, water damage, dry rot, and rusted radiators, but it was still our home, thanks to Annie. Annie mothered me with band-aids on bruised knees and lukewarm microwave meals. She told me ghost stories and let me crawl into her bed when I was scared. She taught me to dance barefoot on the living room carpet and always let me shower first. She brushed my hair every day before school, even when it hurt. She was desperate to be blonde like Marilyn Monroe, like Mom. I'd give anything for her to brush my hair one more time, even if it hurt. She moved to New York when I turned 18 and never came back. I still dream about her sometimes. Keeping up with our mother was impossible. When she drank lightly, she was radiant and made us pancakes at 3 a.m. or took us to the beach instead of school. When she drank heavily, she'd be out all night, leaving us with strangers and a mess of beer cans and smoke. When she drank too little, she'd fall apart, chain smoking and screaming at every little thing. I remember spilling juice on the couch once and her dragging me outside to burn every cushion. It was worse when Mom drank too much. She'd laugh too loudly, then cry into her cereal. Annie would shut down, watching old movies on TV and whispering lines like prayers. When I was 5, I'd cry when Mom passed out, and Annie would soothe me. As we grew older, I would pick Mom up from the bathroom floor, and Annie would clean her up and put her to bed. It was clear then that Annie had become the mother. One October night, I was 13, and Annie was 16. Mom had been gone for 2 days. She called from a payphone, slurring and asking about my birthday, which had been the day before. Annie had given me presents, and we had celebrated at the beach with Jane. I wished Mom wouldn't come home. That night, anger hung between Annie and me after she tripped on the stairs. I laughed, but when I tried to help her up, I saw her breath was heavy with whiskey. I felt like she'd never get back up. I ran to the kitchen, tipped every bottle down the sink, and fought with Annie as she tried to stop me. We broke the last bottle between us, glass shining like broken stars. Outside, the sky turned pale gold, and I cried watching Annie pick up the pieces. Later, Annie cooked pasta with real tomato sauce, not from the microwave. She set the table and played Tammy Wynette. As we ate, I forgave her more with every bite. Mom never cooked dinner, never remembered my favorite meal. Annie wasn't Mom. While we washed the dishes, I heard crying from the backyard. I thought it might be the neighbor's child or the cat. Annie was unsettled and told me to get inside. In the bushes by the back fence, someone was crouching, crying like a lost child. But when they straightened up, they were tall and thin, not human. I dragged Annie inside and locked the door. We huddled in the bathroom, Annie with a knife, and listened to the wailing and footsteps. Annie said she'd call the cops and told me to lock the door and not open it for anyone. She went to get the phone from her room, and I heard banging on the door, followed by a high-pitched scream and the sound of shattering glass. Annie never came back. I sat in the bathtub, clutching the knife, as someone smashed through the door. I saw claw marks on the door and feathers from torn-up pillows scattered down the hallway. Downstairs, the police were already there. Annie was bathed in blue and red light, glowing in the dark. I threw myself into her arms, broken pieces and all. It turns out there was no demon, just Mom, lost in a final binge. She'd broken inside, and we couldn't fix her. Annie had tried to get her away from the drugs, but Mom had only wanted the stash hidden in the bathroom. She'd mimicked Annie's voice to get to it. The real monsters are the ones that consume you slowly, and sometimes they're the ones who love you most. But it's up to you to keep them out. Like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more.